Long ago in the heart of ancient India, surrounded by endless fields of green and golden sunlight, there was a peaceful village where time seemed to move slowly, like the gentle rhythm of a farmer's plow cutting through fertile soil. In this quiet place lived a young man named Arjun, the son of a humble farmer. His world was simple: the creak of the wooden plow, the scent of fresh earth after rain, and the calls of birds echoing through the morning mist. Every sunrise brought him back to the same fields, the same routine, the same endless struggle between hope and limitation. Arjun was hardworking and sincere. His hands were calloused from labor, his skin darkened by the sun, and his heart heavy with self-doubt. Though he worked with honesty and dedication, deep inside he carried a quiet fear. The fear that his life would never amount to anything greater than the soil beneath his feet. He often looked at the horizon, wondering if the world beyond his fields held something more for him. But every time his mind whispered, "No, Arjun, you're just a farmer's son. That's all you'll ever be." The people around him unknowingly fed this belief. Whenever he showed a desire to learn or dream, they laughed. "Hey, Arjun," they would say mockingly, "you can plow fields, not books. Studying isn't for you." Some would pat his back with false sympathy, saying, "Don't dream too big, boy. Your destiny ends at the edge of your farmland." Those words sank deep into Arjun's heart like thorns. Slowly, he began to believe them. His self-worth started to fade away. Every time he thought of doing something new, a voice inside him said, "I can't, I'll fail anyway." He had begun to live not by his own dreams, but by the limits others had set for him. One bright morning, everything changed. A famous sage arrived in the village, a man known far and wide for his wisdom. Draped in simple robes, his face calm and radiant, he carried with him an aura of peace that drew people like moths to a flame. The villagers gathered under a large banyan tree where the sage began his sermon about life, destiny, and the hidden power within every soul. Arjun, curious yet skeptical, joined the crowd and sat quietly at the back. While others listened with devotion, his face was marked by sadness. The sage's eyes, wise and observant, caught sight of the young man's troubled expression. After the sermon ended, he called Arjun forward and asked gently, "Son, why do you look so hopeless? Are you dissatisfied with life?" Arjun hesitated. For a moment, words failed him. Then, with a deep sigh, he replied, "Gurudev, I'm just an ordinary man. I have no special talent. Whatever I try, I fail. Everyone says I'm worthless. And now I've started believing it too." The sage remained silent for a few moments, studying the young man's face. Then, with a faint smile, he reached into his bag and took out a small shining stone. It glittered faintly in the sunlight, half hidden by dust. "Son," said the sage softly, "I'll give you a task. Take this stone to the market and ask every shopkeeper how much they would pay for it. But remember, you must not sell it. Just ask the price." Arjun found the request strange, but he respected the sage and agreed. The next morning, he walked to the village market. The streets were alive with color, merchants shouting prices, women bargaining, children laughing. His first stop was at a vegetable seller's stall. Arjun held out the stone and asked, "Sir, how much will you pay for this?" The man looked at it, chuckled, and said, "It's just a pebble, boy. I'll give you 2 rupees if you insist." Arjun said nothing and quietly moved on. Next, he went to a jeweler's shop. The jeweler examined the stone closely, rubbed it on a cloth, and frowned thoughtfully. This looks a bit unusual," he said. "It has a faint shine. I'll give you 500 rupees for it." Arjun thanked him and continued his journey, now even more curious. Finally, he reached the shop of a renowned gem merchant. The moment the merchant's eyes fell upon the stone, his face changed completely. He stood up in surprise, held the gem against the light, and gasped, "Oh my, this is no ordinary stone. It's a rare diamond, pure and priceless. Its value is in lakhs. If you wish, I can buy it right now." Arjun stood speechless. His heart pounded as he stared at the diamond. The same stone that one man valued at 2 rupees was now worth a fortune to another. Confused and amazed, he hurried back to the sage and narrated everything that had happened. The sage listened quietly and then smiled knowingly. "Look, my son," he said, "the stone was the same, but each person valued it according to their understanding and perception. The vegetable seller saw only a pebble. The jeweler noticed a faint shine, but the gem merchant recognized its true worth. The same principle applies to your life." The sage placed his hand gently on Arjun's shoulder and continued, The world will see you exactly as you see yourself. If you think small, people will treat you as small. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. But the day you recognize your own brilliance, the world will begin to value you too. Tears welled up in Arjun's eyes, not tears of sorrow, but of realization. For the first time in his life, he understood that his worth had never depended on others' opinions. It had always been within him, waiting to be seen. From that day onward, Arjun changed. He returned to his fields with renewed energy. He worked the same land, used the same tools, but this time his heart was different. His thoughts were full of confidence. He began experimenting with new techniques, planting smarter, using his creativity and patience. Slowly, his crops grew stronger and healthier than ever before. His fields, once dull and lifeless, now glowed golden under the sun. People who once mocked him now came seeking his advice. They called him wise, capable, and inspiring. The same villagers who had once laughed at his dreams now praised him for his success. Over the years, Arjun became a respected figure, not just a farmer, but a symbol of self-belief and perseverance. When the youth of the village asked, "Arjun Bhai, how did you change your fate?" he would smile gently and say, "The day I stopped thinking small about myself, that was the day I began to grow. The world didn't change, I did. And once I changed, everything around me did too." And thus, in that peaceful village surrounded by the whispers of wind and rustling crops, the story of a simple farmer's son became a timeless lesson, that the greatest transformation begins not in the world outside, but within one's own heart.